daytime TV show.
Welcome back to Daytime, everyone. Mermaids have been entertaining guests at the Weeki Wachee Springs State Park for 65 years. And if you haven't been there, you have to check it out. They are truly amazing. Today, we are joined by two women who donned the tail and entertained thousands of visitors. We've got Barbara Wynns and Crystal Robson. Welcome, both of you, to Daytime.
Thank you.
Barbara, let's talk about when you were first became a mermaid and why.
I grew up in Florida, and I swam in all the springs, and in 1963, at the age of 13, I saw the park, and I'm like, you can get paid to swim underwater, eat underwater, drink underwater, ride stories, walk tight ropes, and so I applied when I was 17 and swam 67 to 69 and 72 to 75.
That's quite a long time.
Yeah, now we've been back 15 years as performing Former Mermaids. We perform once a month as older women. We've had 80-year-olds and 70-year-olds.
Good for you.
Now I'm the oldest mermaid. So.
And now I understand you just had a big reunion with
Yes, we did.
Talk to us about that. How many mermaids were there?
Go ahead. About 105, 110 that we know of that came to the banquet, and it was magical. We had a lot of the women who started Weeki Wachee in 1947. And of course, they're in their 70s and 80s now, and so it was a wonderful week. The park put on a magical reunion. It was just so heartfelt, and it was wonderful to be with all those.
Now, Crystal, let's talk about what goes into being a mermaid, because it almost looks easy, and it's so graceful, and you're just so talented. But tell us a little about the training that's involved.
Well, when we were there, it was a different trainer absolutely than what they have now.
Mm-hmm.
And it took anywhere from 2.5 to 3 months to get trained and certified and learning the ballet and becoming comfortable. That's the key, is to be comfortable underwater and breathing off the air hose.
Well, the first time, do you remember the first time you used the air hose? What was that like? Was it a little scary?
Oh, it was. It definitely was scary, but after you get used to it, it's nothing like breathing off a regulator. It's totally different. So after you get used to it, it's just, and when we got back in the water after 40 years, it was just like riding a bike. It was turning it on, and we all felt the same way. It was like, it's something you'll never forget.
Yeah, so once you're a mermaid, you never forget.
Once a mermaid, always a mermaid.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the water. It's gold.
Not as cold as this room.
You're right about that. But really, I mean, what is the temperature?
74.2.
74.
It's the Florida aquifer. It just boils up into that beautiful, magnificent basin, and with a theater seated in it, and all the springs are around the 70 degrees, 74.
What was it like looking out at the people watching you? What was that like for you?
Well, we hear the applause more than seeing.
You can hear the applause.
We can hear, it's live, but really with the window and with all we're doing, we don't really get to tune into the audience that much.
Right. I'm looking at these.
That's us. That was this weekend.
That was yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's Crystal coming up on the bottom right there. It's me on the right.
But here's my question.
Yeah.
Where are the tails?
Well, in our era, tails weren't that dominant. We did more of a Cirque-type stage play. Disney, up until when Disney came in, it was really owned by ABC, and it was a large production. And then in the 90s, they brought in the tails and started doing Little Mermaid. And so that's the difference of the era of the currents and what we do. That's why it's nice that we get to bring the history of Weeki Wachee back.
Do you still, even though you've got the air hoses, do you still have to have quite great lung capacity to be able to do this? Is there still a lot of, are you holding your breath a lot when you're under there? No?
Well, we're really not, because we have access to the hose all the time. And
Right.
we certainly put it down and do ballet and things like that. But it's really about being relaxed. Because once you start breathing high, then you go up. And you have to maintain a certain level, so that we can be seen at all times. But it is about being relaxed. And we do a number. We have a wonderful tail number in the new show that we've just debuted this last weekend.
Good.
And it's To the Wonderful World. Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Yes.
We also
beautiful.
have some video of all the mermaids together that we're going to take a look at.
We did. We got to perform with.
Out of the water.
That was the alumni this weekend. Yeah.
So not only do you swim, you sing as well.
that one song. We all know that one song.
What was that one song?
Oh, we wish we were a Weeki Wachee mermaid. That is what we like to be. Because if you are a Weeki Wachee mermaid, it's the Oscar Mayer song. We just changed the words.
Good for you. And I'm sure just the memories and the fact that you're still doing it. Way to go.
That's
Oh,
great.
thank you. It's one wonderful. It's an amazing sisterhood, and we do feel like we're 19 when we get back in the water.
That's what I like to hear. Weeki Wachee, Mermaids, Barbara Wynns, and Crystal Robson. Thank you both very, very much.
Thank you.
Well, you know, about 6 years ago, I spent a day as a mermaid. You guys have to watch this and don't laugh at me.
I think I saw you there.
It was bad. I learned very quickly that swimming with a tail is a lot harder than it looks. Let's take a trip down memory lane.
Oh, great.
Weeki Wachee Springs has been drawing crowds for almost 60 years. People come from all over the world to see mermaids perform in their underwater oasis. I've been invited to join them, but before I don my tail, I'm encouraged to apply so much makeup, I'm afraid it may weigh me down. If I'm going to blend in, I'll need a fancy bikini top. This one?
Yeah. And if you need a bigger one too, I'll give it this one just in case.
Okay. Time to pick out a tail, and what a selection. Let's go put our flippers on.
Okay.
If you've ever wanted to feel like a human sausage, have someone zip you into a mermaid tail.
That looks really good. It looks great. It's really good. You're the little mermaid.
Okay, now I know what a fish feels like when it lands on the shore.
You ready to be a mermaid?
It's one of the girls. I'm ready. Feeling glamorous. Let's swim. Oh, I'm going to fit right in here. At this point, I'm unwilling to release the flotation device. Swimming with a tail is a lot harder than it looks. All right, I'm on my own. It's sink or swim. Or at least attempt to swim. The mermaids are so graceful, smiling and waving at the crowd. Meanwhile, my butt faces the audience as I hang on for dear life. I did manage to make it under a few times, but my instinct is to get back to the surface as quickly as possible. The real mermaids train for at least 4 months before taking part in the show. They're all excellent swimmers, but the tough part is learning how to breathe through the air tubes. I'm happy to stay on this side of the glass, and I'll leave the underwater theater to them. Okay, Barbara and Crystal, what'd you think? Oh, yeah, look, Crystal's still laughing at me. Isn't that horrible?
Oh,
I advised her to keep her day job.
Yeah, thank you. I have so much respect for you.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah,
bless
you
your
really
heart.
did a good
Thank you
job.
very
You're
much.
great.
If you want to see the real professionals, go to Weeki Wachee, and you might just see these two once a month, huh?
Once a month.
Yeah, good
Former
for you.
Performing
Yes.
Mermaids.
Come
yeah.
Keep on swimming.
All right.
All right, still to come, Coffee 101. Your cup of joe might not be up to par. We'll get a lesson in brewing from an expert. Don't swim away.